Memory is the most malicious cutter of all. Preserving, recasting, panning in slow motion across the awful bits so that we retain every detail. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Kenneth, and I've been recast as the host Oodles. Joining me today is Joanna, and she will be recast as the love interest and token female candy machine.
Brilliant. Hello.
Andrew will be recast as the boomer, and he relates to the older generation, Biggie.
Thank you.
Stuart will be recast as the tough exterior but tender and emotionally charged Stig.
Hello.
And finally, Michael will be recast as the Geordie, just about to explode in a rage, Gadget.
Hello.
Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our delicious patrons. Details are in the show notes, and check out our website modernescapism.co.uk for more exquisite content. Let's get on with the Nexus. 1 second, I need to breathe. Biggie.
You had no idea where you were going to go there.
What have you been up to today? I didn't. That's the first time. First time. Biggie.
Okay, coming to me then, yeah? Hello.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things I wanted to just quickly talk about. Watched the series Anatomy of a Scandal, currently shown on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Sienna Miller, Michelle Dockery, Naomi Scott, and Rupert Friend, amongst others. And it was based on a novel by Sarah Vaughan. It's basically an affair between an MP and his secretary that takes a darker turn when he is accused of rape of the same person. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill drama. Everyone acts really well. I thought Sienna Miller was really good. It's only 6 episodes long. Quite watchable. There's some really nice camera tricks at one point to go from a flashback that leads directly into the present day. They're kind of really cool. But yeah, it's perfectly watchable. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I thought it was fine.
I think I saw someone mention that on my Facebook. So I know a few people are enjoying it.
Yeah, what's that?
What's Facebook?
Facebook.
Gross.
As Stig pointed out the other day, I am playing Cyberpunk, and I'm quite enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving on through the story. Absolutely fine. It is what it is. It's still a bit janky in places, but quite enjoying it. So yeah, the main thing I want to talk about though is I've been watching James Bond series on Amazon Prime. Is all of the Bond.
You managed to find them all?
Yes. Although they are in a bad order, might I point out. They are not in any specific order, which is just bonkers. I just don't understand it. But there you go.
Google exists.
No,
yeah.
I agree with him there. I agree with him. If you're gonna put all of a series, just put it in the order that it was released.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense, does it?
Like Disney Plus give you the option for the Marvel movies in release order, chronological order. Amazon just
Disney
goes,
Plus is a better
have
package in general
Bond.
anyway.
Yeah, it's just, very strange. But I've been trying to do it from the beginning, so I've started with the Sean Connery one so far. And they are showing their age, without a doubt. But what I particularly want to talk about, which I know Oodles has mentioned previously before, but it does... the movie's called You Only Live Twice, and I think it needs to be spoken about twice, because, my God, this movie, for plot reasons, means that it's set in Japan.
I hate that this is my favourite one.
It's just so backward with things like rules. There's a blatant moment when he meets his opposite in Japan for their secret service called Tanaka.
Yeah.
And as soon as they start talking, he goes, yes, in Japan, men come first and women second. I mean, it's just... it's absolutely cringeworthy.
In my opinion, the women should always come first.
Exactly. And Blofeld is played by Donald Pleasance, but you wouldn't know it for halfway through the movie.
No, you wouldn't know it.
Show him. You're not allowed to see him at all until it's deliciously revealed, and he is just so over the top and ridiculous that Mike Myers' performance in Austin Powers is actually
pretty bang on, isn't it?
More frightening. It's just, it's hilarious. Just I didn't realise it was that bad. And Donald Pleasance is like a really good actor as well, so I'm really surprised how he was allowed to go so over the top. But what I really want to talk about is that Bond has to infiltrate a part of Japan, and to do so, he's given 3 tasks. He needs to become a ninja, which he manages to pull off in an afternoon.
Yeah. It's really easy to become a ninja these days.
That's it. Pick up a few shurikens and get a sword.
Exactly.
Get a certificate at the end.
And
you can do an afternoon course from home these days and do it over Zoom.
Piece of piss.
Humble bundle.
Exactly.
Ordained ministers of ninjitsu.com.
And then he has to get married to a local Japanese, which actually has no impact on the plot at all. So it's completely wasted 10 minutes.
Still shags her.
During this wonderful 10 minutes, Bond goes under a transformation as he's asked to be the final part of the task to become Japanese. And the only way that he can do it is apparently by having grafted plastic eyelids and a wig.
Yeah.
It's just... Well, not only did my jaw drop open, when he speaks, he does classic Connery, and he actually does speak in Japanese when he's asked to in this movie, but with a Scottish accent.
Arigato.
I love Connery's commitment throughout his whole career to just go, I'm playing a Spaniard, yeah, but I've got a Scottish accent. I'm playing a Russian, yeah, but it's with a Scottish accent. I'm playing someone with Japan, yeah, but it's with a Scottish accent.
Dosh Verdanya.
He just didn't give a shit, did he? He's like, I played all these characters from all over the world and was just like, I'm Scottish. Didn't even
final part of his transformation is that because he's 6'4", 3 or something,
the tallest man in Japan.
He hunches over just a little bit. Yeah, it's just brilliant. It's just and no one around looks at him to think that, well, he's clearly Japanese. I don't need to look at him.
This is not even a comedy, listeners. If you've never seen this, it's not a comedy.
It's incredible. And that isn't the worst part, because it clearly is. But actually, after that, you find out that I had this quick discussion with Oodles before this, and he mentions about the fact that it's got everything in the movie. And yes, it has got a secret base, which has been carved out of a volcano. Could you imagine how much money would actually go into carving out a volcano to turn into your secret base, which does have that top that actually looks like a fake
Ernst
water
Blofeld is worth $10 million.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's stroking his white cat. And the bit is that when they discover this volcano, and the bit to get to this is that Bond has to go onto a fishing boat, swim across, then they have to scale the volcano. They get to the top of it, have a look over, and he goes, "This isn't a volcano," and tells his partner, that girl who's currently wearing a two-piece, to go off and get help. So she's going to go all the way back on her own at night in a two-piece, go back down this volcano, scale across the countryside, swim the water, to come back with reinforcements. It's just,
Sayonara.
It's just...
This is what the Daniel Craig films were missing. They were not enough volcano layers.
Absolutely not.
It's just, it has aged a lot. But yeah, I'm going to keep going, playing through him. I'm looking forward to Roger Moore, because that's what I grew up with. There's a bit of Connery and Roger Moore, so I look fondly on those.
Enjoy the
I'm sure
slapping off women.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, they're on Amazon Prime if you want to go and see how bad some of them are.
The Roger Moore ones, damn, like one of the deaths in that.
It's so bad.
Is it Yaphet Kotto's character?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That death, the way he dies is
air
just
bullet or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pops on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention about the Bond movies currently so far is the fighting is just hilarious. Considering that he's trained, it's all of that. There's just no. You've got none of this martial arts sort of fluidity that you have in modern day action movies. There's just this it's like a pub brawl. People just slapping at each other and trying to throw them over furniture.
That's where the
funny.
Austin Powers judo chop comes from, because that's how they finish people off. They just go judo chop, and they just chop people. Apparently, that's enough.
That's it.
Yeah, it's very comical.
It's the sound effect they use as well. It's the same sound effect with everyone when they get a chop.
Got to chop him just the right place, though, right on the neck.
Oh, yeah, just to be precise.
Excellent. Thank you, my friend. We're going to move on to Candy.
I thought you were going to say me. Well, I wasn't here last weekend, and I'm going to tell you why. Actually, that reminds me, massive thank you to Debbie, as always, for stepping in.
We had to pay him.
It comes out your
I don't want to know.
Comes out
how
your
we're paying him.
wages.
That's what I'm afraid of. I would rather he took my money than anything else.
Do we get paid for this?
Shit.
But one of the questions he asked last week was, what would your funeral song be? And I would just like to say that just in case, I've actually put a playlist on Spotify. I thought of this a couple of years ago. So if I do accidentally snuff it early, search for a playlist called Songs for When Joe's Gone in a Dead Way. And
Is coffin fodder on there?
Add
it.
Some Skyrim ones.
That needs to
Fallout
go in the show
ones.
notes.
Gonna have an absolute party when I die. But no, last weekend I had a busy one. On Friday night, I went to go see my favourite band, which I've spoken about before, and they're called Ghost. And Ghost are a kind of they're a sort of band that doesn't really fit into one genre. The singer dresses up as a satanic pope, and
Papa Emeritus.
yes, and his band are called Nameless Ghouls. So it was a really good gig. They're playing bigger arenas this time. So this was at Resorts World in the NEC. So it's proper like there's I think about 10,000. It holds about 10,000, and it was, as far as I could see, it was sold out. So that was the first really big thing I've done in terms of sort of socializing, really. So it's a bit of a nervous one, but it was fine. You know, we got through it. Got absolutely smashed. So that was good. Difficult to stand up for a while. But yeah, no, it was a really good show, and it was nice to get out and see a proper big sort of arena show. The second thing I did in the same place, I basically lived at the NEC this weekend. On Sunday, I went to Insomnia, which is a LAN gaming festival. We didn't go for the nerdy things. We didn't go LANing. I went for the shopping. But it was huge. It was much bigger than I thought. So normally with the NEC shows, you'll get, for example, MCM Comic Con and
Cut it
some
in
of the
half,
other
don't they,
Comic
and
Cons.
stuff.
Yeah, it's usually one hall, I think, if you're lucky. So this
Yeah.
was actually 3 halls. So you had the first hall, which was sort of shopping, and there was a huge board game area. They had the Fallout board game that I was watching them play, and massive cosplay areas and everything.
Wait, you were watching people play a board game?
Well,
I just-
I
You're a
was
fucking
kind of,
nerd, you.
This vision of people playing a Fallout board game, but just twitching,
Quiet.
glitching as they're like
Yeah.
trying to move
I wanted to go and
characters.
knock everything over.
Yeah.
That's how you play Fallout, motherfuckers. But no, it's
Hope you
interesting to
saved your
see.
game.
But it was fun to see, because obviously board games cost so much. You're talking like £100 for the full setup. So to see everything kind of set up the way it should be was cool. And yeah, there's a good cosplay arena and esports, which I didn't hang around for long.
How much Monster Energy did you drink?
I didn't drink any. I was all jacked up on these donuts that they were selling. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm into that.
We basically went in lieu of not being able to go to EGX. And it wasn't anything that you can really compare to EGX. It wasn't, it's not a case of you can queue up and play demos of games or anything. It was more a kind of LAN party. And there's a little camping area as well. Like people can actually camp, and they had these adorable little, they weren't tents. They were they looked like giant dog houses, but they were cardboard, and it was essentially like
I've
sleeping in
seen
a
them.
little house-shaped coffin.
People start doing them at festivals.
I really like
So
them.
what,
I think it's cute.
You're camping inside the NEC or in the car park?
Inside the NEC. So the first hall was the one I just spoke about. The second hall was literally just people. You could either use the computers that they'd supplied or bring your own computer, and it was just the LAN room. It was probably 1,000 computers all next to each other. And then the third hall was the camping area. I went on day 3 out of 4, and it smelled as ripe as you could probably imagine a gaming festival would smell on day 3.
Was it Mould and Lynx Africa?
I wear Lynx Africa. Don't you come at me for that.
I'm coming at you for that.
That's one of my favourite scents.
It's
No, it didn't even
awful.
smell of Lynx Africa. It smelled of mouldy shoes and Doritos. But yeah,
Tell
no,
about my
it
women.
was
Oh,
mouldy Doritos, baby. So yeah, it was fun. It was probably not as good as EGX, but EGX was cancelled, and this was what there was, so it was fine. On the way back, I won't talk too long about hockey because I bang on about it, and it's not a sports show. However, my team did get into the playoffs, so it was the last home game. It was the quarterfinals. It's played over 2 games, so the first game was played away, and we won 6-4, I think it was.
Was your team the Mighty Ducks?
No,
I don't know hockey.
Bristol Pitbulls. I do like
Bristol
the Mighty
Pitbulls.
Ducks,
Have you ever seen a dog on ice? It's terrible.
Have you?
Yes.
So yeah, first game they won 6-4. Second game we lost 6-5, but because it's on aggregate, we actually won. And the only reason really that I bring up hockey is that I spoke about it before, we've only just come back to having a rink of our own. So to go from having nothing to getting into the quarterfinals, they played the semi-finals last night and unfortunately lost in overtime. We came back from a 3-0 loss, made it to 3-3, and then lost in overtime. So that was quite disappointing. But the team have done so well for themselves, and they're going up a league next year as well. So it's a testament to how good they are, I think, and I'm really proud of them. But enough with boring you. The main thing I did this week, and Stiggy spoke about it last week, I went to see The Northman. I agree with basically everything you say. I really, really enjoyed it much more than I was expecting to. I'm not huge on Eggers as a general rule.
You should be.
Well, I probably will be now. But yes, especially the first probably third to half of the film really, really stood out. And it was just a kind of an assault on the senses in terms of just how intense it is. It doesn't pull back from the violence. It doesn't pull back from just how brutal Vikings were. A really trippy scene with Willem Dafoe, the fart scene that was mentioned. I'm glad I wasn't too drunk going into that one. I think possibly maybe the last third went on a bit long for me. It was a bit of, I don't want to say a letdown, but it wasn't as good as the first half, I didn't think. But really enjoyed Skarsgård. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. And very disappointed that the hair didn't stay as long as it did to begin with. But yeah, really good. I really recommend going to see it. Funny enough, somebody gave me I went into it more or less blind. One of my customers gave me a really bad review and actually said that he'd walked out. And I can't understand.
Idiot.
Yeah, I can't understand why. I don't see what there was not to like unless there was a bit, maybe a bit intense. But Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say it'd be one of those people who just thought it was a standard Viking film.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I think that's probably the case. But yeah, I really enjoyed how fantastical it was as well. Like there were the kind of Norse mythology elements to it, and that was a nice surprise because I was probably one of the people going in thinking it was just a standard Vikings thing, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I concur. Excellent. Yeah. Brilliant. We're going to move on to me now. I'm going to quickly talk about the Northman. In fact, all I'm going to do is Stig was right again. I absolutely,
nice.
I thought it was spellbinding. That's 3 for 3 for me with Eggers. It's just a jaw-dropping spectacle, and I'm glad people are gaining more money because he's not squandering that money. He's not turning it into anything horrible. Do you know what I mean? He's not ruining his vision, and it's the epic I've wanted in a long, long time, of like an historical epic. I haven't seen one at this caliber in a long stretch, and I echo what Stig said last time. I think it's fantastic. Is it a perfect movie? No, but what is? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, I was just thinking that the last time I can remember someone really kind of making a film like this, unless it's been ones that I haven't seen, that uses kind of like an old tale or kind of a real tale and mixing those mythology parts to it, is probably 300.
Yeah. I can't think of any other.
Yeah, that because that kind of does the same thing, doesn't it? Where it mixes in those stories of monsters and huge, like the Persian
a lot of directors are scared to do it. I think
he's huge, like 9-foot guy, isn't he? In that film.
Yeah. I think a lot of directors are scared to tackle beloved mythologies and stuff like that. And Eggers just, again, he's my current favourite director. So yeah, spot on with that, Stig, last week. Right, my main thing I want to talk about is a game, computer games. This game was sent to me kindly by the developers. So this is also a review. As I'm speaking this now, it's under embargo, but by the time this drops, it won't be. This game is called Metal Tales Overkill.
Oh,
that's a title.
Yeah, developed and published by Zero Uno Games. I've written this down so I don't get this stuff wrong. It's a guitar-based twin-stick shooter, and the easiest way to describe this is by saying it plays like one of my all-time favourite games, The Binding of Isaac. If you know what The Binding of Isaac is, you automatically know what kind of game this is. It's got less of a disgusting art style and obsession with like placental imagery and stuff that Binding of Isaac's got, because it's a bit minging, that game. So the story to the game is that the guitar gods have been possessed. Oh no, Gadget. They've been possessed. No. Now it's up to you to sort this mess out and save the world from the evil god Cook. K-U-K. Each of the worlds or levels is called a gig, as in concert. And it's up to you to venture into the maze and defeat baddies, ultimately leading to an incredible boss encounter. So far, so good, right? And now, without this next aspect of the game, I'd probably have no real reason to play this over Binding of Isaac. Get what I'm saying? Because Binding of Isaac's a lot more polished and beautiful, as well as disgusting. Because the graphics are not the best in this, but this aspect truly sells it for me. So the game's designed for metalheads, because every aspect of the game is accompanied by real-life death, thrash, doom, and heavy metal songs. And fuck me, they're good. They are good. If you don't like metal, you won't like this.
I'm out.
But yeah. You probably will. Yeah, you probably are. There's some proper deep cuts in there as well. You'd be like, oh, fuck, let's go. A lot of them are like Latin American and Spanish metal bands, because the developers are Spanish.
The good metal bands then.
Yeah, the good ones, because the developers are Spanish, so it helps. But it's super cool to like go into a boss encounter at the end of a dungeon, and it just unleashes this big metal, and then it kicks off. It's that's the only way I can explain it. It's just so fucking good. And if you've played like roguelites and Binding of Isaac and Twin Six, Enter the Gungeon, those type of games, you know exactly what you're doing. But this is nowhere near as difficult as some of them games. It's quite accessible, because I think they want you to see this spectacle rather than bang your head against a wall constantly. The actual attacks that your character wields, he is using. You can pick a character basically. You unlock more characters as you go on. Some are thrash metal guitarists, some are other stuff, and you use your guitar to attack. So, bing, and like lightning bolts come out of it every time you shred and stuff like that. And it's like twin stick shooter directions, and it's just really good. And you can unlock new guitars, you can find new summons and magics and stuff, as you all expect, but with a metal twist to it. And overall, I do think it's a good game. It's a little ropey because it's not the first game they've done, but they are an indie developer, and it's just how it is, isn't it? But the proof of concept's fantastic. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 if you're into metal. If you're not into metal, such as Biggie, it's a 6 out of 10. And if you want to play that kind of game and you've not played Binding of Isaac, play that. But that can be quite expensive to buy Binding of Isaac in comparison. So,
oh yeah, they still sell that for full price in some places.
Exactly. So Metal Tales will do because it's a budget title. It's on everything: Switch, PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox, all of them. I don't know if it's on Ouya. It might be. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's...
For the 2 Ouya players still out there.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's not perfect. It's no Binding of Isaac. But I put my headphones on and fuck, it's good. The sound's really good. But
when's that one come out?
It's
got to be soon if it's under embargo, right?
It releases...
It was out 2 days ago as of recording, so I'm looking at it on Steam right now.
Yes. But I've managed to finish it, and I didn't stop. I think it took me about 5 hours to fully finish my run, because you know what these games are like, you do runs, don't you? And you can go back, and there's many what it does do accessibility-wise, you can see what's in the next room before you go in. I like that about that. You can't on other games like in this genre, so you can plan accordingly. If you want a thrash, get it.
I always want to thrash.
just looking at the Steam page and look at some of that. They actually have real guitars in this.
Yeah, I know. No, there's so much love for it.
Look at the artwork. There's like BC Riches, there's Gibsons, there's a Dean Razorback in it.
Mate, where you see the
Jackson
playlist?
Randy Rhodes.
You see
I'm trying to find the playlist and I can't find it.
I couldn't find it to talk about it for this review, but mate, some deep cuts. Absolutely.
It's got one positive review on Steam.
Yeah.
Its only review.
That's it. But I'm giving it a positive review. 7 out of 10. Woo! Next, we shall move on to Stig.
So, the main thing I want to talk about this week, I am being so generous and letting Gadget take the reins on that one.
Oh, aren't you?
Thank
God.
you.
We both have probably some gushing things to say about it. But I
I don't gush on my podcast.
I have a couple of other things to talk about in the meantime. I watched the Uncharted film last night.
Ah.
I have kind of dropped these thoughts already within our Discord, but for those who aren't in there, and why aren't you? You should be.
Idiots.
Fuckers.
These are my thoughts on Uncharted.
Jesus.
It is a perfectly fun and enjoyable romp of a film. Holland and Wahlberg, I still think, are wrong for the parts, but they are still very entertaining in the film regardless. I think if this wasn't tied to Uncharted and it was just a action-adventure film with them in the leads, probably wouldn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
And not to say that it doesn't bother me so much where I'm like, oh god, like, you can't do that, Drake wouldn't do that. You know
Not
what I mean?
my Drake.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's just Tom Holland is still too young for next year. He's still 10 years too young for the part.
Does he kill about 180 people, though?
No, he doesn't actually. The one thing that actually does annoy me is because of his size and his age. He obviously is athletic, so he can do all kind of bit of dodging and
But he's not brawling like
acrobatics,
Drake.
but he's not brawling. So when he comes against the two like big burly like kind of side baddies, he just looks like he'd get the shit kicked out of him, and you just don't
Drake's
believe that.
fucking hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
exactly. You
Like
just don't believe he'd
hard.
win that fight. So I looked past that eventually just to enjoy it. The casting of Chloe, though, that is perfectly fine. Like, she's really good. Like, they've nailed that. No issues with that casting at all. I have a few issues plot-wise. The bad guys are terrible. Stuff that happens around the bad guys is terrible, i.e. they just turn up.
Mate, I can't name you a bad guy from the games.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So it's probably in keeping with the games. But it just annoyed me how... It's just like the games, actually. Drake figures everything out, and yet the bad guys still not turn up at the part. It's like, how do they know where it is if he's only just figured out where it is?
There's that moment in the first game where you've unlocked a tomb and the baddie's already inside. Which way did they come in?
It happens
We could've
in
gone
this.
that way.
And I sat there going, how did they know that was there? Because
Yep.
Nathan's only just figured this out.
Yep.
But apart from that, it has a lot of elements that like had in Uncharted games. So puzzles, artifacts, maps, locations, set pieces. They are genuinely like they've just lifted them straight from the games and put them into a film. So that was pretty good.
I'm going to watch it.
But yeah,
It's made a lot of money as well, hasn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. I didn't look into that.
Tenner.
I've
Yeah,
heard it.
made a
I've
tenner.
heard it's done very well. It wouldn't surprise you
Yeah.
to have a sequel for it.
I'm sure
there will be. It's literally only just come out a few months ago, and it's only just hit Virgin streaming now this week. So, yeah,
It's, in the US, it grossed 146 million, so I think they're going to do another one.
I will watch a
Catching up
sequel.
to our patrons, isn't it? That?
Yeah, I'd watch a sequel. Happily watch a sequel.
Yeah.
So it's a
We need
3 out of
popcorn
5
films. Popcorn
enjoyable
films are good.
popcorn film,
Yeah.
and it's probably up there with one of the best video game films. I know that's a low bar, a very low bar, but you know, for
Not
me,
Street
it's-
Fighter 9.
yeah, we're waiting for that one. The other thing, though, I watched up is I caught up to the current episodes of Star Trek Picard.
Oh, finally someone's watched this.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, right.
Never mind then.
Oh, really? That's a shame.
Saved me a job.
I just
Really enjoyed the first series.
yeah, so the
I like
story
the first series as well.
the story basically is something it kind of carries on from the first film. They're all film series. They're all kind of
Yep.
doing their own thing within Starfleet now.
Yep.
They come together for something I can't even remember what it is now, but this is all in the first episode. They're about to die basically, and there's a big flash of light. You think and then Q turns up.
No way.
So this is all about Q fucking with Picard again.
Is it him as well?
Yeah.
Guy that... Oh,
So
fuck.
there's
Delancey.
yeah. So he's back. The way they get around him being old, really done really well.
Really? Yeah, because that wouldn't make sense because he's an eternal entity.
Yeah.
I kind of assume you would do the, well, Jean-Luc, you're old now.
Yeah,
so
you're old now.
With you.
That's exactly how they do it.
Oh, Gadget is cute.
He just goes, oh, you've aged. He goes, just to be a bit fair, and he just clicks his fingers and turns into old Q. So
that's good.
So basically, Q is fucked with the timeline, and he's turned Earth and the Federations into space Nazis. And the leader of the space Nazis is one.
Oh, they're going back to Discovery, aren't they?
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh no, the Führer himself.
Yeah. And so obviously Picard they go back in time to try and resolve this.
Discovery as well, though, isn't it? Like Gadget says.
Discovery. And it's just, there's some fine stuff in there, but there was one episode which is probably one of the worst Star Trek episodes I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It was so bad.
And you've watched Enterprise, haven't you?
Most of it. I don't get with Discovery. I stopped watching that. I would generally stop watching this if it wasn't around Picard. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Picard's so good, though.
I only have 2 episodes left to watch this series, so I'm going to do that. And the annoying thing is, do you know what they've done? Mm-hmm. They've released the teaser for Series 3 halfway through Series 2.
Idiots.
And that screams to me that they know that this isn't doing very well critically with the fans or things. Wow. So what they've done is, stick around.
We're refreshing it.
And we'll give you this. And can I tell you what the teaser is?
Yes, because I'm not going to watch this.
So the teaser is all the OG cast are back. They are all back.
I'll tell you who's coming back. Khan!
So everyone from the original Next Generation cast is back. Although Will Wheaton isn't in the list of names that comes up, so I don't know if he's in it, but everyone else is going to be in it. And you can clearly see they've gone, this series is a bit shit. We know it's a bit shit. People are saying it's a bit shit. Come back next year and we'll have what you wanted from the beginning.
Kirstie Alley. She's coming back.
That's original Star Trek. I'm talking about.
Is it?
Next Generation. He's banging on about the original Star Trek. I'm talking about the original cast of Next Generation.
Get Shatner in.
They have to get Shatner back
all them characters have been well gone.
Ironically,
get Shatner back.
The one thing as well is that this series is doing is it's just thrown in a assumed plot line. So it is the is it Ancestors? The before out there. I always get it mixed up.
Yeah, Ancestors before, yeah.
So it's Noonien Sung's ancestor, and there's something going on, and they're meant to be in the world, the year 2024, and the technology he's using and the stuff's going on just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work. You don't need to just get Sung or Data or whatever into the show. It doesn't need it. It's a pointless subplot.
Is it just an excuse to put Brent Spiner back into
Pretty
it?
Much, yeah. But it's it's not very good. So
I don't like it when Star Trek does time travel. The only time travel episode that I think Star Trek ever did that they got right was the DS9 one where they go back to the Tribbles episode.
That's so
brilliant.
good. That's so really good.
That was like a take the piss episode.
Yeah. What annoys me with the time travel stuff like this, it just fucks around with its own like mythology and timelines and everything,
rules as well,
and rules, and it makes no sense. Picard's already gone into the past in First Contact.
Yeah, it did.
And yet he acts as though that never happened in this.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think he went back in time once in Next Generation as well. Pretty sure he did.
Oh, this also involves the Borg Queen. She's in there somewhere as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, like, do you remember her?
Got
her. Remember her? We've got her. Remember him? We've got him. And that's what the whole of next series seems to be. Remember all these? They're all back. And like an idiot, I'll probably watch it. You what?
Never mind.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's me. On to the main show.
Excellent. So then, Gadget, take us away.
Okay, well, before I get into the thing that both me and Stig have done this week, just very quickly, I started a new book this week with the best title in the world.
Okay. You've said this before, so you better be good.
The Girl Who Can Move Shit With Her Mind.
I like it. I like it.
Into it.
I'm only about 10 chapters into it so far, but so far it's stacking up really good. A very funny book based around a woman with psychokinesis working for the US government, and she really doesn't fucking want to be. But she's the only one, apparently, in the world who can do this stuff. So she's going and infiltrating kind of buildings with spies and going and just walking in, just like, they come to like a password protected lock and she just like thinks about the lock and opens it and stuff like that.
Oh, it's not just actual shit that she can move, it's just general stuff.
No, it's
Not
it's general
poop.
stuff.
I can move fecal matter with my
I mean,
mind.
if she can move other stuff, I'm sure she can move poop.
But the book opens in a really engaging way because her and the agent that she's working with are falling from the 80th window of a skyscraper, and it does the whole, so this is me. This is how I got into this shitty
You might
situation.
be wondering how I got here.
Exactly, yeah. And it's really funny, and I'm enjoying it lots of fun. But when I finished it, I'll talk about it in more detail. But I just had to point out the title of it because it's incredible. But speaking of incredible titles, the thing that both me and Stig did this week was we've both been separately to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
So much.
It's so fucking good. It's really, really fucking good. So if you aren't aware of what this is, you clearly haven't been on the internet in the last 6 weeks. This is the new Nicolas Cage film where he plays Nicolas Cage. It is a slightly fictionalized version of himself, but basically he's in debt, he's going through divorce, his daughter is sick of his shit, and he gets an offer from a mysterious businessman in Europe to go over and hang out with him on his private island for his birthday party for a cool $1 million.
Easy money.
Yeah. So
Incidentally, Modern Escapism is also up for that deal if anyone's listening.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd do it for 100 quid.
So he's having midlife, effectively late career crisis kind of thing. He's considering hanging up acting, and he meets Harvey, played by Pedro Pascal, who is this mysterious multimillionaire businessman. And it just goes fucking weird from there. I don't want to kind of give away like the most of the plot points on it because the film kind of twists and turns around in a really interesting way that I absolutely did not expect. But it is so well written and so well put together, and you can tell Nicolas Cage is having so much fun with this.
Yeah.
You get a really interesting, really funny sequence halfway throughout it where both Nick and Harvey take LSD and go for a drive.
We've all done that.
Yeah, I had a penny for every time that happened.
I know. Tell me about it.
And that's where, if you've seen the trailer, that it's that sequence where like Nicolas Cage sitting on the wall and like, I'm gonna lift you up, Harvey, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen that,
Because they're high off their tits, and it's so fucking funny. Also in the film, Pedro Pascal plays Harvey. You've also got Sharon Horgan playing Nicolas Cage's ex-wife. Neil Patrick Harris plays his agent. You've got Tiffany Haddish in there as someone destined to cause trouble for everybody. And yeah, me and Pip absolutely hoo-hawed and laughed all the way through it. It was so... There's some really early cringe humor in the film as well. That like Pip was like burying a head in my shoulders to get away from it. You know when you have to hide from the cringe.
Yeah, most Adam Sandler films.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to spoil the impact of it, but I do kind of want to talk about Nikki. What do you think, Stig? Did we talk about Nikki?
Just put a little spoiler klaxon.
Yeah,
I'll put the spoiler klaxon in.
You don't know about it, but it just came out of nowhere. Really, when it happens, it's very, very close to the start of the film. To be fair, so
yeah. Skip to 44 minutes and 30 seconds if you don't want any of this film spoiled. So, because he's going through his midlife-y, crisis-y stuff, he's kind of effectively pestered and tormented, maybe even haunted by Nikki, who is a de-aged Nicolas Cage. From the kind of Wild at Heart era.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jumping
and he
on,
talks
jumping
like
on
that, like the old kind of Nicolas Cage way of talking.
He's always like, I'm Nicolas fucking Cage.
Yeah.
Like, hooah!
And it's supposed to represent the two sides because current day Nicolas Cage wants to do more arty films, wants to do more like smaller budget stuff, like films with a capital F. Whereas Nicky wants him to do the big blockbusters. He wants to do another Con Air. He wants to do that kind of shit. He said, you got to be a superstar because you're Nicolas fucking Cage.
Raised in Arizona stuff.
How did Con Air never have a sequel, by the way?
They all died at the end.
I won't spoil what happens in the moment itself, but a really surreal moment between the two of them in a bar. It is so earnest yet so meta. Like the film, he's constantly takes the piss out of the weirder parts of Nicolas Cage's career.
There's jokes about
there's jokes about the Wicker Man. There's jokes about Ghost Rider in there. It's all under the surface stuff as well.
But he also
that one, yeah, that joke's in
taking
there.
the piss out of himself from the get-go, isn't he? The part he's trying to land at the beginning of the film, he's talking about, this is the role of a lifetime, this, blah, blah, blah. And then when he does a little bit of dialogue from it, like, this sounds fucking terrible. But Nick Cage is like, it's the role of a lifetime. Because, the last several years, he's just been doing whatever the fuck, hasn't he?
The Colour Out of Space.
Absolutely.
Pig.
Before he started doing the Colour Out of Space, Pig and Mandy, he'd just do these generic as fuck action films, wouldn't he? Like films that
straight to
that time
DVD
travel
stuff.
one that he did.
Yeah, with things that you just look absolute garbage. That's the kind of film he sounds like he's kind of get with at the start, the audition for at the start of the film.
He even says to the director, I've been working on the Boston accent, and immediately I went, no, don't do it. Don't try to do the
Boston.
Yeah.
And it's, as you would expect, terrible. But it is really fucking good. It turns around and kind of twists around in ways you don't expect. There are a lot of huge amounts of knowing nods to his previous career and his reputation as well. There's a lot of stuff like playing on his reputation. And the way the film ends came out of absolutely nowhere for me. That transition stick.
Yeah.
It just I was taken aback when like the camera turns around and suddenly everything is the new bit. It was honestly I haven't laughed that hard in the cinema for a film that wasn't Jackass in a long time.
And I think because he's had his critics, it sounds like it's quite a cathartic film for him to do as well. I imagine there's probably quite a lot of actors that would like to be in this position to have a bit of fun with their earlier films and stuff.
Yeah, I think I would say that. Yeah, he's in a position where he can have fun because I think he's one of those actors like he's enjoying doing the films he wants to do. He's not doing it for a paycheck. He doesn't have to do these films.
I saw him on the red carpet in his tartan suit.
Just as a biscuit tin. I think the last 5 years of Cage have been the most cagiest of cagey years ever. I love it. Everything that he's done recently has been ace.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
he's absolutely leaning into his mythos as a meme.
If he wants to be crazy, let him.
He practically is, isn't he, with this film? And he's also said that like this is like probably like one of the hardest roles he's ever had to do because he's playing himself and has to kind of bare his soul and take the piss out of himself and not play it too earnestly. Like he knows that these are memes and like the bees joke and not the bees and all that kind of thing. And
the bees
and the way he speaks, when you hear interviews about like, and he's kind of like talking, he's really in touch with himself.
Remember that famous
and stuff
one
now,
when he
isn't
did that at Parkinson when in his early career? He comes out and he's like jumping around and stuff like that. It's awful.
But that's Nicky.
Oh, it's awful.
Like,
it's worse than Tom Cruise when he was jumping on that sofa.
If you listen to some of his recent interviews now, he's very assured of himself, isn't he? About the poetry and that kind of stuff that he talks about and the kind of films he likes. And he fully leans into this. He's talking about his favourite film is a 100-year-old German silent film.
Oh, of course it is.
And which actually it is on my watch list because it looks weird as fuck.
It's going to be Stig's favourite, so Stig Cage.
He's full on like, no, he knows himself. Like, this is how I perceived, so I'm going to lean into that, and that's what we're going to present in this film.
There's a fantastic moment of bonding between Nick and Harvey over Paddington 2.
Oh yeah, that gives it an extra,
still not
extra thumbs up.
Yeah,
it's fucking incredible. See, even Nick Cage knows. Put into this film. Paddington 2 is one of the best films ever. It's so good.
I just when I saw that, I seen that scene was like leaked on Twitter like a couple of days ago, and I saw that and I just instantly thought of Stig. I was like, yeah, this is Stig's film of the year. This, because not only is it Nick Cage doing Nick Cage things, but it's talking of Paddington 2 not once but twice throughout the film.
Nick Cage.
I really recommend you can go see it. It's not one of those films you don't need to see it in the cinema, but go and see it in the cinema so people make weird films like this more.
Yeah.
Gadget.
Excellent.
Nick Cage is back.
Oh, he's back.
No, you missed the joke. Damn it.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
He failed. I set him up with a punchline and he fucking...
I know, because
not that he went away.
Not that he went away, yeah. Which is a line that's repeated several times throughout the film, and I can't believe I didn't catch that.
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
He literally says it throughout the whole film. It's like, you're back. Not that I went away. No, not that you went away.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Damn it.
And one last thing as well, just I really like Neil Patrick Harris as his agent. He's just playing the Barney Stinson character again from How I Met Your Mother, but I just think he's really funny, and I just really like him in films. You should watch things, Zoodles.
The bromance between the two as well is really great.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Let's move on to the main topic, and it's my topic this week. We're basically recasting some of our favourite films. Even though they are our favourites, we're going to try and make them maybe not better, but as good. And I'll start proceedings just so people get a taste for what we're doing. I hope you guys have done a little bit of homework on this. I'm trusting you, Alan.
No, I haven't. I'm winging it entirely.
You're good at that, though. That's different. For you, you can do that. I can't.
Of course I've done the fucking homework.
So I've obviously gone with an MCU film because I like me some comic books. But I've gone to not my favourite one, but I've gone to the one with the least, not as many cast members because it's a bit easier.
The smallest cast.
I'm going to recast Avengers Infinity War.
No, I'm not.
Lock yourselves in, guys, for 4 hours of.
I am going to recast Avengers Assembled as we got it in the UK. I don't know what was it just called, the Avengers in America? Yeah. Well, it's Avengers Assembled. So I'm just recasting the main cast on what's classed as the main cast on IMDb because that's how Stig likes to do it as well. He's all about that IMDb life, and I'm just going to go in order of star power. I'm assuming. I don't know how they order it on this, but probably. So, main star of Avengers Assembled, as we all know, is Robert Downey Jr., isn't it? As Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And I'm going to recast him. Get ready. By the way, this is then as well. I'm going to recast him with Oscar Isaac. I've got reasons. So he's handsome.
I'd like to hear those reasons.
He's handsome and has played a billionaire before in Ex Machina, so we know he can do it. I kind of want him to lean on the alcoholic Tony Stark over the PTSD Tony Stark, like he is in the comic books. And my twist is I want to make him like he is in the cartoon. I want to make him so he can't use his legs outside of the suit. So it gives him even more like pathos with the character and that Oscar Isaac. Because I've been watching a lot of him lately, haven't we, Stig? And I think he can do that kind of sad, depressed billionaire quite well. So, what do you think of that?
Are you recasting the film or remaking it here?
No, we're just recasting it. All the scripts the same.
I think it just means the way that he would play the character.
Way that he'd play it, yeah. He's not changing any words or anything like that. So, yeah, that's how I'd want it. Next, Steve Rogers, originally played by Chris Evans. I'm going to recast him as Henry Cavill. So, I know he's not American, but I don't give a fuck. He's got a great...
do a generic American accent.
Yeah, he's got a great smile and he's physically able to pull it off.
I can see that.
It'd work. I think it'd work. Maybe brown his hair a little bit, make it a bit
Now, that
lighter.
would be America's ass.
I'm telling you. Natasha Romanoff, originally played by Scarlett Johansson. I'm going to recast her as Emily Blunt. So, she looks a lot like the original comic version, and she's got great acting chops. I'd give her more of a spy aspect over the Johansson's fisticuffs, but I can't change the film, so I reckon she could still pull it off. Emily Blunt.
I don't know about Emily Blunt. I couldn't.
I just fancy Emily Blunt
her in the role.
Come on.
Wasn't she actually originally up for the role?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she was, and she turned it down.
Idiot.
To make a quiet place.
No.
Years before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I think she just other commitments she was doing, but yeah.
Yeah. Next, Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, originally played by Jeremy Renner. I'm going to recast it as Matt Damon. Shaved head, sunglasses, and he's great on camera. I like Matt Damon. It works. Next, Bruce Banner, the Hulk. Originally, Mark Ruffalo. Well, not originally, but let's not get into that. I'm going to recast as an older Bruce Banner. It's going to be Bryan Cranston. So he's calm, collected, and he's got a beast hidden within him, like in Breaking Bad. He can anger out sometimes, but he can also do that calm, kind of dad smart. Do you know what I mean? You're feeling me, aren't you? Feeling me. Next, Thor, originally played by Chris Hemsworth. I'm going to recast him as Alexander Skarsgård.
I thought you might be going to that.
Because he's an Adonis.
He did audition for him, didn't he, I think?
Again, I don't know.
I think he did.
No, but
That's interesting, though, because I could see him really pulling that off. So if he auditioned, I'm surprised that he didn't get the role.
He's not as ripped as Chris Hemsworth.
Probably didn't want to bleach his eyebrows either.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. He wouldn't need him to. So, I don't think he had bleach eyebrows in Avengers.
He's had to go through the first film, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's how we'd recast, because it'd have to be him, wouldn't it? It'd have to be. Yeah, you're right. Next, Loki. Originally portrayed by Tom Hiddleston. Great. This is one of the hardest ones for me, because I think he's perfect.
He's pretty perfect as Loki.
He looks like Loki as well.
Yeah.
From every comic book version. But I've gone smart. Gustav Skarsgård, which is the real brother of Alexander Skarsgård. So he's got a great dynamic there, obviously, because they're real life brothers. He played Floki in Vikings. He's also bald, so you can just put a good wig on him. And he's tall as well. And I think Loki should be tall.
I think you're grasping at straws there.
I don't think I am. The brothers already, so they've already got a dynamic. I think it works.
I like that touch. I like that they're already brothers.
I'm thinking outside of the box and inside of the box. So the next one, the last one, Nick Fury. Originally portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson, I've recast him as Jackson L. Samuel. It's really actually Samuel L. Jackson, but he's got the eye patch on the other side. Because I could not recast him at all. But if you really want me to, I'm thinking Idris Elba, but only when he's playing Charles Minor in The Office. That Idris Elba. You remember that one?
What done with Jim's shit?
Yeah, done with
Tony Stark's shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I think that's the only way I'd get away with it. Because Idris Elba is far too over-empowering as a Nick Fury. Do you know what I mean? He's massive. He's a monster. But if we're playing Charles Minor, I'm into that. And that's how I've recast it. Is there any glaring omissions, you reckon, there?
What about Agent Coulson?
I don't know. Biggie can play it. I didn't even think. He's like a non-character to me because he died in this one. So he's just gone.
He's so good.
Is he?
He's a pivotal point
He's
in
so
the film.
innocently lovely.
He is a pivotal point, but...
And you know, he got to helm the worst Marvel TV series.
Yeah, which I still never watched. Fully.
I don't know.
I watched some of it.
I'm pretty sure that the Inhumans probably takes that.
Yeah. I've watched that. Fuck. But yeah, that's my recast, and that's basically what we're going for. So, there's not many arguments from there. Probably the other Skarsgård's probably the only one that's got a negative reaction on that one. But,
I just don't know if you can recast Iron Man, though.
Well, he nearly was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I know, but I just...
That would have been a disaster. The MCU would have never gone off the ground if it were Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. Smiling as soon as the helmet opens with big teeth. Awful.
How much would he have had to change how it all worked as well? Because I'm sure Tom Cruise would put his fingers in the pot with the plot and script and...
Yeah, he does that, doesn't he?
I think like Robert Downey Jr. did as well, though, didn't he?
Yeah, but well.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yeah. But yeah, we'll move on to Big A, because I'm very interested in what you're bringing.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually make notes about who they were replacing, so I've quickly just done that. So I have two, actually, I wanted to talk about. But I don't know how you want to do this, because we have time. I've done The Alien and The Thing, because they're both my favourite movies.
You got 10 minutes, boy.
So, Ripley. I've gone for Brie Larson. I think she could carry that sort of role off, because she's shown that she can hold a movie together with something like Captain Marvel, amongst other stuff that she's done. But I think, because if you haven't seen Alien before, you don't really know who's going to be the hero from the beginning. So I think she can kind of pull that kind of quiet role off.
Just in the background until she needs to come in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that, mate.
I think she can do that. Dallas, I wanted to do something completely different. I've gone for Ewan McGregor, because I think a lot of people would again think that he's going to be that sort of main hero character. And then if you know how the movie goes.
Yeah, they could even
that's not
put him on the
case.
posters like Ewan McGregor.
Exactly.
That little bait and switch. I love that.
And I think he can pull off being sort of the overall leader of the group. I think
Because
that'll
like
work.
Tom Skerritt was like the high bill, wasn't he, originally?
Yeah, until he was taken out.
Clever.
For Lambert, I've gone with my fave, Toni Collette. I think she can do a real screen queen when she needs to be.
Yeah, sure.
And you are her biggest stan in the world anyway, aren't you?
So she was played by Veronica Cartwright originally, so I thought I'd put Toni Collette in to sort of, I think she'd do that role quite well, to sort of be the fear of the crew. Kane's a difficult one, but I thought I'd go with someone who isn't in the movie very long, but I think again it would surprise people, would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, now, yeah, I can.
And I think he can sort of pull that sort of... Because he can be a bit nerdy when he needs to be, because Kane at the beginning of the movie seems to be the one that understands everything. He's talking about the environment as he's going through it, and I think...
And I'm sure he'd love to do a 1 week shoot and get paid $18 million for it.
Yeah. Ash, on a similar theme, I've gone with Tom Hiddleston. I think he could probably play off being what appears to be sort of a nerdy scientist role, but I think he could turn quite evil as an android.
Yeah, definitely.
Originally played by Ian Hamm. Parker, I've gone with Daniel Kaluuya. I think...
I love him in everything he's done.
He's superb. I love everything that he does, and I think he also has that sort of the big eyes like Yaphet Kotto, so there's almost like a link in not only how they look, but I think he could pull off that sort of engineer kind of role, the tough guy aspect when needed. Brett, something different. I went with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think the two of them will work and bounce off each other quite well as the role of Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
Mother's voice, I went with Kate Blanchett. I think she'll...
no, that's bang on that. That's bang on. When she's doing Galadriel.
Yeah, because that voice throughout that movie later on is really disturbing because it's totally emotionless, but it's got that woman's voice, which almost has that sort of motherly feel. It's very weird and comes across really well in that movie. The alien, I think, should be played by Doug Jones. He's good in everything that he appears in when he has to.
You having a proper physical alien, not CGI.
Yes, you should recast the alien CGI.
I thought you were going to say, what's his name? Who played Andy Serkis? Alien.
No, it's definitely got to be a physical presence, I think, to pull that off. I think
he's really good at playing aliens.
And as the face hugger, it would be Jared Leto, who hopefully method acted an egg during the whole fucking shoot.
And sat sucking on people's faces.
That's a terrifying film. The egg opens and it's just Jared Leto's face, just like
naked,
just hugging your
completely
face like
naked. Oh god, that'd be the ultimate horror.
Does his method acting by just like hiding in a giant egg in people's dressing rooms,
and then attaching to them as they're about to go for lunch. Jared, not today.
But yeah, that's my choice for Alien. Have I got time for the thing?
Excellent. You have. You have.
Okay. This is quite hard because I love both these movies, and this is more of I've tried to go for character actors. So bear with me because I don't know if this will work. So R.J. McCready, originally played by Kurt Russell. I've gone with Leonardo DiCaprio.
This is The Thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I think DiCaprio could pull off the McCready role. I think he looks
and a
good with
beard.
Bushy beard.
Yeah.
Big bushy beard.
I think he could do that. He's got that sort of wry smile when he needs to be. He's played alcoholics before. So
he's lived it.
Really good. Yeah. Childs, I think Idris Elba would be really good.
Yeah.
Originally played by Keith David.
Motherfucking Keith David.
The guy that looks after the dogs. I think he'd be good as Tom Hardy.
Oh, a bit scruffy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they should all have beards. They've probably been out in the ice for a long time. Probably can't be asked to shave, so I think that would work.
Yeah, God.
All these people have
Everyone's
beards.
got a beard now.
I was going to say, you only got that kind of exploration mission. You're not taking a razor with you.
No.
Even the dogs have got beards.
Dogs are born with beards, mate.
Palmer.
Bigger beards.
The stoner. Could only be one person for me, and that's Matthew Mahogany.
Yep, definitely. All right.
All right. Knowles, I've gone with Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, Ejiofor.
I think he's really cool in that. Blair, I went for Bryan Cranston. So I've seen a lot of these names that Oodles went for have popped up in my list as well.
Because we've got taste, mate. That's what we've got.
Blair. Copper, I've gone for Stanley Tucci. I think he'd be
he's
pretty
brilliant
good
anyway.
as the what do you call the doc that's there. Gary went for Matt Damon. I think he could pull that off in a more restrained role for Matt Damon.
They're busy, these lot, aren't they?
Yeah. Bennings, I went for Christoph Waltz, just to get him in there, because you want character actors for all these roles.
Yeah.
Windows, I went for Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
He's got those gorgeous wise eyes.
Norris.
Gorgeous. Norris, I went for Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. That's really good.
With the famous head that...
Yeah. I could see a Gleeson head running under a table. That's so cool.
I'll keep you up at night, that one.
Exactly.
Fuchs, I went with Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
I think he could play that sort of nerdy guy. And Norwegian shooter is, of course, Alex Skarsgård, because he's got to be in there. Why wouldn't he?
Because we want to give him more films.
Absolutely. And
that.
last but not least, The Thing is played by Jared Leto.
Yeah, nailed on.
So
you
you're
mean his
the one
true
that
form at the end?
You're the one that keeps giving him all this work, Biggie.
Yeah, he's his agent, isn't
But
he?
these are the best parts.
That's what we'll tell him.
Speaking.
Yeah, he'll be like, come on, Jared, you're the main guy, you're the title character, The Thing.
Can we give him the
Like-
role of the Invisible Man so he just fucks off?
Fuck.
Well, like Biggie just did.
Yeah.
He's just.
Drop
Do you know
off
what
the
he's
call.
done? He's had Windows open at the top of his screen, hasn't
He's got
he?
rid of it.
And he's clicked.
Yeah.
He's clicked X and shut the call
It's
down.
fine. It's fine because it's the end of his segment. He's probably
Yeah.
launched. He's actually probably launched Netflix as we speak. So I want to move on. I want to move on to Candy.
Oh, I want to know what Wiggy thinks.
Just wait for Biggie to come back.
Oh, you know exactly what he's done. He's had tabs
Sorry,
open.
lads. I've launched Netflix.
He's
Here
had
he
tabs
is.
open.
Did you close
Ta-da!
My
Your
window may
browser.
have shut down then.
Do you know what I want to hear in that moment? I want to hear you go, "Oh fuck," on Audacity.
Oh yeah, you've got your local recording.
I'll see what's there.
Jared Leto hit the button.
Recast Biggie as someone competent. But yes, we will lovingly move on to Candy. What you got for me?
I'm doing The Matrix, and I almost didn't do this one because I know we go on about this film all the time, but it is one of my favourites, and people
It's
know
one of
it.
the best films ever made. That's why.
And it's one of the best films ever made, the first one, the only one.
The only
So
one.
fuck it, I'm doing The Matrix.
one.
So what I've done is I've kind of recast the film with a set of current actors.
Mhm. Yeah.
So for Neo, and bear with me because this does get better. So for Neo, I'm going with Michael B. Jordan. And
Oh, no, I like that.
well, see, I was trying to think of someone that's kind of comparable.
Someone who
to-
looks good in sunglasses.
Well, firstly, that was one of the checks. Yeah, so it needs to be sort of comparable to Keanu Reeves. Obviously, Keanu is a long-time listener of the show, friend of the show.
Oh, yeah, since day one.
He's fully aware that we don't think much of his acting skills, although he is a real-life saint.
Yes.
So I was sort of looking for somebody that is a great action star, but doesn't have so much in the charisma department, maybe. So
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah, Michael B. Jordan,
He's
he looks
cool.
incredible. He's an incredible action star. He can pull off the moves and probably
I've
has
seen him as Johnny Storm.
yeah, just enough acting skill to be able to pull off a decent Neo. Trinity is going to be Zoe Kravitz. And the
Yeah, I'm into it.
yeah, so this casting was
Massively into that.
100% influenced by her role as Catwoman in the Batman. So we know how she looks in a leather one piece.
So ugly.
Oh,
Get out of my
disgusting!
head.
It must really hinder her terrible looks.
I don't know how she dare get out of the house on the
Must be
morning.
nice, mustn't it? But yeah, we know that she's an amazing action star as well, and I think she'd have really good sort of romantic chemistry with Michael B. Jordan or anyone really.
And she could get Lenny to do the soundtrack.
Oh, didn't think of that.
I want to fly away. Whatever his song. Can you remember that one?
That would be the
Precisely
ending
that
scene
song.
where Neo flies into the
Mm.
camera.
That's what I'm thinking.
Love
They're
it.
going my way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Are you going to go my way?
So Morpheus, we have Mads Mikkelsen, and I got to be honest, I just wanted to put Mads in. I'd already decided most of the other characters, but so I wanted somebody that was kind of calm, wise disposition, but also capable of action sequences. And Mads has got he's a trained classic dancer, and you can tell in his roles like Doctor Strange and everything that he has got that part of it down. And I think that would make an amazing scene where he's teaching Neo the kung fu, in the dojo.
And he's super stoic, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that would be an incredible scene. I think he would pull that off pretty well.
Plus, you do have shares in Mads Mikkelsen.
I do, it's true. I don't share him with anyone, by the way. Agent Smith, I've got Kate Blanchett.
This is the big one. Oh, see, I'm into it.
Big Blanchett.
I've seen her as Hela.
That's what I'm saying. So
she can do baddie.
This actually was my favourite choice of casting. I really wanted to have a female Agent Smith. I've gone on about it before, how rare it is to find a female antagonist that poses a genuine threat. And after seeing her in Ragnarok, it just had to be. So she can do the sexy sinister well, like Hugo Weaving did. And just imagine
sexy
how badass.
Sinister, Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving is sexy sinister. Don't you tell me otherwise.
There's also a slight kind of
not sex.
It's like a slight camp over the topness to Agent Smith, like the way Hugo Weaving plays him.
It's the smell.
That entire sequence.
Yeah.
So you could see Kate Blanchett just really leaning into that, a bit like she did with Hela.
Fantastic. It's probably the best casting I've seen so far.
Or the first scene when there's kind of interrogating him. Can you imagine her in the suit and the glasses and like a pulled back sort of ponytail and an earpiece?
I could.
Oh yeah. So moving on to the Oracle, we've got Angela Bassett as the Oracle.
Yes.
And that was a bit like Mads. I just really wanted to put her in the film. She sort of, she was almost Agent Smith for me, actually, but I think she's kind of got too much of a wise sort of air about her. So having her as the Oracle.
She's nicer, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's less resting bitch face and stuff like that.
Slightly less resting bitch face.
Not much less.
Yeah. So she played a slightly more commanding Oracle than the original film, I think. In a lot of her roles, she does play someone who's kind of seen everything and is sick of everyone's shit. She's just got that kind of air of, I know everything, but fuck you. So she possibly wouldn't be making cookies in a kitchen. What could she be doing?
Pouring shots.
Yeah, or maybe she'd know everything.
Jaeger bombs.
Maybe she'd know everything because she's like an HMRC officer or something. Actually, no, that's way too scary. No, maybe
Inland Revenue.
She'd be making a steak in the kitchen, but you're not allowed to try the sauce because make your own steak.
Okay.
So for Tank...
There is no steak knife.
There is no steak. Tank, we've got Carl Urban. And the stipulation on this is so he'd be the comic relief on the film. But I want him to play Tank as Billy Butcher, basically. So same accent, same wardrobe, everything. So he's sat behind a computer, all grizzled and swearing at everyone, and
wearing a trench
Dropping
coat,
a C-bomb.
I'm a genuine child of Zion, you cunts. And
I like it.
Or if Trinity said, Tank loading some weapons, he'd be like, right, here comes Des and Troy.
Oh, I love it.
Mouse, I almost didn't cast because he hasn't got a massive role, but I thought of Timothée Chalamet for him. Because he's got the kind of stature for it, and he
wears the fuck out of a ripped jumper.
Yeah, and we already know he's a little nerdy boy because he used to have a YouTube channel making Xbox custom controllers.
He did, yeah.
Did he?
And then
Hey, little nerd.
Used to paint them and everything. And Cypher, which is my final one, we've got Samara Weaving, who. Again, I love female baddies, and I think she can do sort of unhinged quite well. She has the sort of eyes that don't blink, or I think she could pull that off. And also, she's Hugo Weaving's niece, and I think that'd be a nice link. But yeah, the others, Dozer, Switch, and APOC, they didn't really have a big enough role for me to cast, I don't think.
They were just there for the toys, weren't they?
Yeah, and I'm not doing the whole trilogy, but I did have a think about who could play the architect as well. And I went with Gillian Anderson. Because
that's so good.
Yeah, because if you've
really
seen
good.
her in Hannibal, she kind of sounds like a computer anyway. She
vis-a-vis
sounds a bit like Alexa, really. But
who would you cast in as the Merovingian though? This is what I'm curious on because he is my most hated character.
Oh God,
even more than the
Nicolas
the
Cage.
architect.
Oh, who's that?
Jared Leto.
James Corden.
Jared Leto.
It's Jared Leto. Yeah.
But
In a
yeah, out
run
of
of a
all of them, like,
lifetime.
ironically, I think Michael B. Jordan as Neo is my weakest link, but I wanted
Oh,
somebody.
I like that.
I thought he would just play off nicely with Kravitz, so that's sort of
Yeah.
why I went with him.
Yeah. Excellent. Brilliant. Fantastic. Let's move on to Stig.
So I am going to recast the whole of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Big
Good.
undertaking, this, mate. Big undertaking.
And so to start off with, obviously we have Batman Bruce Wayne. He is the main part. This is the guy who has to see us through all three films.
Yes.
And I went a little bit older than Christian Bale was. So I'm going to cast this with actors now. That's
fine.
Rest of us done. And so he is a little bit older, but I want someone who's probably mid to late 30s, and he's just a bit older than this, but I think that he's got the right kind of look and demeanour for Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm going to go with Chris Pine.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that Chris Pine as a Bruce Wayne, if you see him as Kirk, he's very confident, he's very cocky.
Smiling all the
He
time.
can play that, but he also has the stature and the build of someone who can fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah, he'd do well as Bruce Wayne. So I can't remember, what was that film he was in with Tom Hardy, the one where they're playing spies trying to get the same woman or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, This Means War.
This means war.
Yeah, and he's playing a very playboyish style there. So
Yeah, leather jacket on.
Yeah.
He's a bit old. I mean, Christian Bale he's 41. Christian Bale's 48 now. So obviously he was quite
That's fine.
young actually when he did that. I genuinely thought Christian Bale was a bit
He was
older. when he
30 odd,
did-
wasn't he? Like early 30s when he
Yeah.
started.
So
You're not going to
so
do
Chris
the
Pine's-
impression then, Noodles?
No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Now this one, I hope you can see this with me, and just let's look past. In an ideal world, this man isn't ill and hasn't just retired from acting.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Jim Gordon's going to be Bruce Willis, because I think when Bruce Willis is given a script and a role where he wants to focus and wants to actually put his time and effort into it, he could be really good. So I've gone with a bit of an older Jim, a bit more grizzled.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
You're thinking like
Hartigan
Sixth Sense
when he's-
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, just like
Concentrating.
Hartigan in Sin City, where he's like
Yeah.
like that. But
Where's the fuck out of a trench coat?
yeah, the thing is, I originally was going to cast this as people around the same time.
It don't
And so
matter.
Bruce Willis kind of popped. No, that's why Bruce Willis popped up. Then I thought, he's just come off Sin City, and it's about the
That
right
would have
time.
been perfect.
It would have been
yeah.
perfect. But then, like most of my other casting that came to me was like, oh no, these are actors from around now. So, but I really like the idea of putting Bruce Willis in there as Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I do. I like that.
Just a bit.
Mustache. Ooh,
Yeah. Rachel Dawes is going to be played by Elizabeth Olsen because
Yeah,
Yeah, I
she
can see
can do
that.
no wrong.
because I think that the character of Rachel is very kind of, she gets in your face and confident of herself, isn't she? And assured, and she's much better than what's her face,
Maggie Gyllenhaal and Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes. Maggie Gyllenhaal was really good. Katie Holmes not so much, but I think that Lizzie Olsen would be really, really good in that role.
Yeah,
she's
that's
great.
bang on.
Scarecrow. So Scarecrow, keep in mind, across all three films.
Yeah. Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy originally.
So he's going to be replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal. So Jake
Into it.
Gyllenhaal can play crazy and slightly
really
unnerving
Yeah.
and comedic. You know, the stupid kind of role way that they went with Scarecrow throughout. And I know that he kind of pops up a little bit in the other two films. He's not really a major part. in
I
them.
do like him in Dark Knight Rises as the judge.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
gets more and more
That's
dishevelled
cool.
as they go, doesn't he?
yeah.
But I really think, that Jake Gyllenhaal could pull that off across all three films. Now, Ra's al Ghul, the fake Ra's al Ghul,
Mm.
who was originally played by Ken Watanabe.
Yep.
He is going to be played by Tony Leung.
Yep.
Martial artist, amazing Asian cinema legend.
Yep.
And I think that just to pull off some really cool fight scenes.
Yep.
with
And he
Bruce
has a
Wayne.
presence anyway as an
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that he would be perfect for that to replace Ken in that part.
Yep.
And Ducard, who is the real
Real Ra's al Ghul.
This is clearly come because of Moon Knight, but it's going to be Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
You see
It'll
him,
work. It'll
you
work.
see him in Moon Knight, and you're like, Yeah, that would really work.
That's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, yeah. That would really,
Who's the
really
name?
work.
I missed the name. Who was it?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Ah,
Have you seen him lately, mate? He has grown into himself. He's brilliant.
Yeah. Like,
I want to see that horror movie that's coming up.
Just watch Moon Knight, mate. It's on now.
Lucius Fox, as played by Morgan Freeman, is now Jamie Foxx.
Mm.
Bang on.
So a bit of a younger Lucius.
Just a
there.
younger, bit sassier.
Yep.
But he knows how to wear glasses as well. We've seen him.
And my Alfred, because I think
This is an hard one.
No, my Alfred is going to be played by Ralph Fiennes.
God, he nailed it.
So I think he's the right age now. He's late 50s. Him kind of, being the mentor to Chris Pine. There is 18-year gap between them.
Yeah.
You could even put a little bit of makeup on Rafe to make him look a little bit older than he is.
Grey his hair a bit.
But as someone who has a presence of a mentor and a kind of older person.
He does seem to act a bit older in Bond, doesn't he, than he actually is?
I mean, he's always acted older
I mean?
than I thought he is. I was surprised. I genuinely thought he was about 10 years older than he is.
Well, look at him as Voldemort. He looks 400 years old.
Yeah, no, Alfred is going to be played by Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort.
I can touch you.
Adds an extra 10 million to the budget for makeup
like,
and nose removal.
Mr. Wayne, the boy who lived in the alley.
to die.
Come to die.
Right, on to the hardest choice for me, the Joker. I obviously have to replace Heath Ledger here.
Yeah,
so I've gone with someone who I think can really play unhinged, has played these roles before, has played just people out the head, unhinged and crazy. And I'm going to go with Ben Foster.
I can see it.
That's good.
I don't think Ben Foster gets enough praise for how good he actually is, but I think if you put him in a role like
He's an
that,
outstanding actor.
yeah, he would absolutely nail it.
He always
Has he
scares
worked
me a
recently?
little bit.
Exactly. He's very
I don't
scary in
trust
these
him.
roles. I think
I don't
it's
trust him.
30 Days of Night. He is absolutely just
He's got the minging teeth and that long hair.
off his head in that film.
Yeah, like a meth head.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
I just think it was a choice between him and I forgot his Will Poulter.
Oh, yeah.
But I just thought that Ben just had a much bigger screen presence.
So terrifying as an actor.
Yeah, I just think that he'd be able to pull off that so much better. Harvey Dent. Now, I have gone with an older Harvey Dent here.
Yep.
So not someone who's around the same age as Batman, as Bruce.
Yeah.
And I've gone with Tim Robbins.
That's good.
Because I see Tim Robbins as being a kind of... he has a face and a look about him.
He's a mountain of a man, don't you?
As someone, who, if he was a politician... he looks trustworthy. He looks like the kind of guy that you could get behind, like the kind of...
He's 6'5".
Yeah, but turn him into a psycho killer at the end.
Yeah.
And, I think he could absolutely nail that as well. So, I just think that as the Harvey Dent's character, particularly more than Two-Face, he'd be really, really good as Harvey Dent.
I do, mate. I like that.
And then finally, on to the Dark Knight. Right, so I've left a lot of, smaller parts out here. I couldn't be bothered with all of them.
Yeah.
I've gone with the major ones. So finally, Dark Knight Rises, Bane, and this is purely because of the new Halo TV series, but I'm going with Pablo Schreiber.
He's big in it.
Because he's a big fucker.
He's
He's
a big
ripped as
boy.
shit, who could beat the crap out of Chris Pine's Batman.
Yeah.
And you would believe it.
You merely
Would
adopted
need to
the
use false
darkness.
perspective.
Yeah. You could
I was
genuinely
bothered.
believe that man could pick up Chris Pine and break him over his knee and give him a little spanking.
Combo breaker.
Yeah.
Would you still
I
have
think
him as unintelligible in the movie?
Yes. You can't change that.
Yeah, well, maybe you can change some about the performance,
I'm
maybe.
joking.
I never had a problem with Bane's voice.
I didn't either, mate. I never ever did.
I always heard what he said. I could understand what he said and know what Hardy was going for. But yeah, I just wanted a really kind of young, big bastard to play Bane.
Yeah.
And I know Tom Hardy can bulk himself up and look imposing, but I just want Bane to me is just head and shoulders above Batman, so it needs to be someone
has to be,
taller.
doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miranda / Talia al Ghul. I'm going to go with Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, just anyway.
Yeah.
Just because.
Screen presence, she looks fantastic. I think she can
Yeah, she does.
play that role very similar and just nail it, to be honest. And age-wise, she is about just under 20 years younger than Ethan Hawke. So as a daughter to him,
It works.
it works.
Yeah.
Selena Kyle, Ana de Armas. So if you've seen
Into it.
Ana de
Put her
Armas
in everything.
in the latest James Bond film, she is fucking
Yeah.
incredible. She's not in it enough, but she's
She's in
proper
it for 5 minutes.
kick ass, and she's just awesome screen presence, and she can do physical action. And I just think her in a catsuit.
Should we bending over that?
Yeah.
She's also very good at acting charming. Like
Yes.
the screen presence that she brings, she can charm the pants off any lead actor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Which is I think what works so well with her in Bond and when was it Blade Runner?
Yeah.
When she's playing Joy in Blade Runner.
Her and Chris Pine make the most beautiful babies you've ever seen.
They'd be so beautiful they'd be illegal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Imagine them
To have a law
Imagine
put
them
in.
two
So
sat-
this child cannot.
sat at that table at
Don't
the
let it
end.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
a positive glow coming off them.
There would be.
And I did cast Blake, even though I think the part is a non-part really in Batman.
I like it when he uses his real name, Robin.
Robin. So I've gone with Justice Smith for this part.
Yeah, like it.
Because two reasons. I think he's really charismatic. If you see Detective Pikachu is really good in that. And these films kind of do need a bit more people of colour representation in them. So I think as a young actor, as someone who could carry the mantle on as a Robin, like he has like the look and the charisma to do that.
I think you nailed it, mate. I think you've put some good effort into that.
I think it's a really good cast, to be honest.
I'd watch the shit
I'd
out of
watch
that
them.
trilogy. I can't watch the original trilogy now. You've ruined it.
Batman was
Brilliant.
tough one. I did look at it and think maybe Henry Cavill. That's quite kind of easy, isn't it?
He's busy on Avengers now. He's a Marvel guy.
Yeah, so I took Chris Pine instead because he's not doing any Star Trek.
Yeah, and he's got DC blood in him, hasn't he? Yeah. So, yeah, that works. Excellent. Gadget.
Well, for mine, I decided to make life incredibly hard on myself and do Pulp Fiction.
There's so many main characters in Pulp Fiction.
15, I think.
You idiot.
Well, 14 or 15 that I've had to do. And bear in mind, there is actually about 40 people on the cast list in it. Like,
Oh, I know.
incidental parts with dialogue, though.
Yeah.
Like, just people who walk on and walk off. So I haven't done those.
No.
Like,
Don't blame you.
we'll say Buddy Holly is still Steve Buscemi, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. But I've done this in kind of the order they appear in the film.
Yeah.
So starting off with Pumpkin, who was originally played by Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, part of the charm of Pumpkin is he's British.
Yep.
So we're keeping a British actor in here. And I went for Thomas Felton.
Oh, yeah.
Who's he?
Draco
Malfoy.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Okay,
Because he's
off me, you
because
damn
when-
dirty ape. That guy.
When you see him these days, he's kind of does have that kind of Tim Roth slightly disheveled look that he has at the beginning of that film. Plus, he's very good at that quick, intense whisper speak that when him and Honey Bunny are plotting at the beginning of the film. For Honey Bunny, just because I want to see her in all the films ever, Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
Yep, she's great.
From Killing Eve and from that Free Guy.
She nearly made Mo Ripley, actually.
She would be a very
She'd
good.
actually be a really good part for the Uma Thurman's character as well.
She would.
Yeah, she would be. But I went in a different direction with Uma Thurman's character. But we'll get there as we go down. But yeah, I just like the idea of those two together. I think they would battle off each other, and having Jodie Comer jump up on the table and start screaming, "If you're any motherfuckers,
totally
move!"
works.
Yeah.
Then moving on to Vincent Vega.
Here we go.
I struggled with this one for a little while, and I kind of had to think of like the qualities that John Travolta brought for it, and kind of also the kind of the physicality of him as well. Because I should have said this is kind of as if I were casting it today, current actors, that kind of thing. But I got it into my head and I couldn't get it out of it, so I went for Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
I
see that.
kind of know where you're going.
Yeah.
I can see where you're going with that.
He can, if you let his hair grow out a bit, he can do the greasy thing.
I didn't
do the
know
kind
that
of-
in that was Travolta's hair.
That was true.
That's mad, isn't it?
We hadn't been working for 5 years.
Yeah, that's true.
They just give him a shave before he went on. Just left the hair as it was. Hadn't washed. Now, how do you recast Samuel L. Jackson, though?
Jackson L. Samuel.
There you go.
I didn't want to do that joke. So for Jules, I thought, who is a very charming, very sweary actor of an appropriate age
I know.
for that role. I went Donald Glover.
Oh, yeah. Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
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 Looks good with the fro.
He looks good
Looks
anyway.
Good with facial hair.
Yeah.
I thought Jordan
Angry.
Peele.
Very
Angry
good with
boy.
dialogue. Very charming. Can be very angry.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele would pull that.
I like it. Oh?
I didn't cast everybody
Jordan
in.
Peele.
I didn't recast everybody in. I didn't recast everybody who was in the apartment where they have the burger speech.
The main guy.
Just well, there's two of them that are involved that have any kind of level of dialogue in there.
Yeah.
One of them, Marvin.
Can't believe he shot Marvin.
Yeah, can't believe he shot him. I went for, and this one's a little bit off the wall, but Tyler James Williams,
Refresh my memory.
who played Chris in Everybody Hates Chris.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
He's 29 years old.
Yeah.
A young black actor.
Because Marvin's young anyway,
he's
isn't
age
he?
appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked him as an actor. He's a very good child actor, and I've seen a few things with him in over the years, and he's very good.
Oh,
Trust
yeah. I know you mean.
Yep. For Brett, who is the...
Say what again, motherfucker?
Yeah, that one. I went for, and this was difficult because I basically had to start looking for like actors who were in their like 20s, and unfortunately I'm not that current, so I had to Google it and find actors in their 20s.
I did that. Just to check.
Did you type on Google actors who are in their 20s?
Yeah, just to double check on ages, and it was right for the part. That was
I love it.
Yeah. So this one, so for Brett, the big brain on Brett, Cole Sprouse. The biggest thing he's done, he's more of a TV actor. He was Cody in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney.
Don't know what that is.
It was a Disney show.
Oh.
He's been like ABC series like Grace Under Fire. He is the little kid in the Adam Sandler film Big Daddy.
Oh, okay.
So that's and he also played Ross's son in Friends for a couple of seasons.
Is that him?
Oh yeah.
That's
no
him.
fucking way.
He's
Yeah,
now
no.
45 years old.
No way.
Yeah, he was born. He's actually 30 now. He was born in 1992.
Oh, to be young.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so I've cast him as Brett, who says what repeatedly.
What ain't no goddamn country I ever heard of?
So moving on to actors that you've probably heard of at this point. So Butch Coolidge, Bruce Willis's character, the boxer. Again, this was one, just got the visage of him in my head and couldn't get it out there. John Bernthal.
Yes.
Ooh,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
He looks like a boxer.
yes. He looks good with bruises as well.
Yeah. But he looks like a boxer who's been through the ring a few
Broken
times. Broken nose, kind of tattered
I
ear.
really can see that. I can really see that.
So good.
Plays an idiot very well.
He does. He does. I've seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Now, Marcellus Wallace was a problem
That's a difficult one.
because there are certain qualities to Marcellus Wallace.
Back of his head.
He's got to be black.
Yep.
He's got to be bald.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he ain't got to be a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So I tried to think of a black actor who I think can play that kind of cool, calm, collected menace that Ving Rhames managed to do.
Yes.
But it's very hard to replace Ving Rhames because he's excellent as Marcellus
So
Wallace.
good.
So I went for
James Corden.
a man of not the same physical stature, but a man with the same emotional stature and the ability.
Okay.
Mahershala Ali.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ooh,
I can
yeah.
see
Have you seen him as Coppermouth?
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
I think he might
that's
play
so good.
Wallace like a bit more menacing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
whereas kind of Ving Rhames played him very cool, calm, and collected, but
Mm.
like the don't fuck with this kind of guy.
Mahershala
tone to his
Ali
voice.
is he is so good.
For Lance, who is Vincent's dealer.
Yep.
I went for
wasn't it?
Blake. it was Eric Stoltz. Yeah, I went for Blake Anderson.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Workaholics, the dude with the massive hair.
I know who he is, yeah.
No, I
yeah,
don't
he's
know.
good.
Fuck, was the dealer Eric Stoltz? I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Ginger Jesus.
Yep. But Blake Anderson were playing well. He's got a history of playing stoners and dealers and drugged up people. You look at him, you think, he sells drugs.
Yeah.
Just looking up now. Yep.
Yep. Now, Mia Wallace. Again, a very difficult one to recast because I don't like to make things easy for myself.
Yeah.
But I went for mostly because she was age appropriate for the character, and she can, she's had a history of kind of playing slightly offbeat characters, but also kind of she can do drama and she can do kind of intensity well.
Yep.
I went for Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, she's good, and she was good in True Blood.
Yeah,
good in that as that kind of character as well. Yeah, I like that.
So that's kind of the primary cast done, and the rest of them are the kind of the weird side cast that you get into it. So we go for the weirdest one first, of course, Captain Coons, which was Christopher Walken's character.
Yeah.
Just watch up his ass.
Watch his ass.
Yep.
Up his ass.
I mean, you can only recast Crazy with Crazy, so it had to be Willem Dafoe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
It works.
It would probably be a slightly scarier scene for the child that
I was just
that's
gonna
involved
say,
in that
yeah.
scene.
Up my ass.
But Willem Dafoe would just do it right. For Fabienne, who is Butcher's French girlfriend,
Yep.
I went for, and this one was really difficult to get someone who was like, because Fabienne's quite young compared to Butch. She's like in her early 20s.
Yeah.
So I had to look deep, and I happened upon Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp.
Okay. Yeah, she's been
She's
doing
half
some
French, half
acting,
American.
hasn't
Yeah, she's an actress and model.
she? Yeah.
But she's got that kind of pixie-ish look.
Yeah.
The original actress, which was Maria de Medeiros.
Yeah.
Medeiros.
Does she like blueberry pie as well?
Probably.
I have no idea.
Who doesn't?
But yeah, she has that kind of pixie-ish look that Fabienne had, and she's about the right age.
Yep.
So yeah, she kind of worked out for it. Zed, who was played by Peter Green.
Zed's dead.
Zed's dead, baby. I haven't done the guy who was with the guy who was in the shop before Zed turns up, because he had like 2 lines, and
Who's playing the
I just
game?
think I'll just get one of the guys. Yeah, get one of the guys from Sons of Anarchy to play him.
Yeah,
I just need a big guy with a beard.
Exactly. All of the guys from Sons of Anarchy.
Just interchangeably.
Yeah.
But for Zed, who has dialogue and needs to be a little bit sinister and a bit crazy. Now, first, I had 2 ideas for this one. The first idea, which I rejected, I was going to suggest Matthew McConaughey, just mostly because of how Zed looks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's got like long blonde hair, he's got a look, but Matthew McConaughey would have been too old for it.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, we got to do sinister, we got to do weird, we got to do Paul Dano.
Yeah. Get him in. Getting it all that. Yeah. Into it.
But and then you'd get that classic visual of Paul Dano thrusting behind Mahershala Ali, and then that makes his career.
Although, hold on, probably he'd be a good gimp. He could do the gimp, just making the noises.
I mean, with modern editing technology, he could do both at once.
No, the gimp can be Channing Tatum. He's already been a gimp in a film before.
True. So we're getting to the sharp end of it here. So we have the most problematic character in the film, which is Jimmy, which was Quentin Tarantino's character.
Oh, it's so bad, isn't it?
So bad.
He's always the worst in his own films.
It's just an excuse for him to say words that he shouldn't say.
Say the N word, yeah.
Yeah.
But taking away the abject racism of what the character says and the horrendous dialogue.
I'll allow you to change the script on that one.
Yeah, we'd have to change the script on that one. So the way Quentin Tarantino plays Jimmy is that he starts off kind of entirely reasonable and starts getting gradually more and more annoyed and like unhinged as he goes on, really, doesn't he? He starts kind of shouting and screaming.
Yeah.
And there's only one actor that I know that can do that as well as anybody, because he's done 15 seasons of TV doing it. It's got to be Glenn Howerton from It's Always Something.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it.
You could see him talking quite happily and quite annoyed about
In a
the
dressing
quality of the
gown.
coffee that he buys in a dressing gown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you think if you see the Always Sunny episode of where Dennis and Mac move to the suburbs, it's that kind of escalation of insanity.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's really good.
And the last one, which also caused me a lot of bother, which is, of course, Winston Wolfe, played by Harvey Keitel, the Fixer.
He's still playing Winston Wolfe on adverts now.
It is.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, the main qualities of Winston Wolfe, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected, he's a badass motherfucker.
He is.
Despite what Jules' wallet says.
Yeah.
I could only pick Josh Brolin.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm giving you that. I'm letting you have that because he can. Yeah, Josh Brolin is cool.
He's made a career of playing characters like that.
Yeah,
and Josh Brolin is usually the coolest character in a room.
And
whenever
if you're a
he's on
fixer,
screen.
you need to be big enough to pick up bodies.
Yes,
and Brolin's a beast.
But it's also like it's the way Harvey Keitel delivers his dialogue. It's that kind of that low kind of very rapid response. And Josh Brolin, you can hear his voice doing that.
Yeah, a bit deeper, but yeah. Oh,
that's that is my cast for Pulp Fiction, and that was really fucking difficult.
Yeah. I think that's the trouble with these.
Like
when they're your favourite films or when they're really good films, they're normally really good films because of the cast.
Because of that, yeah. That's why I wanted to add that extra bit of challenge to this.
Yeah.
Like with that lot, there was like two or three of them that like jumped out to me like immediately as soon as I thought of them, like Glenn Howitt and Josh Brolin, Willem Dafoe and John Bernthal. They all jumped straight out to me. I just couldn't get them out of my head. But then it's like, how do you recast Samuel L. Jackson? How do you recast?
Next week we'll be recasting Django Unchained. There is literally like 50 characters in there.
Yeah.
All in the space of like 10 minutes.
I was going to try and fit in RoboCop.
Or the Hateful Eight. How could you recast the Hateful Eight?
I don't think you could.
Got 8 top tier actors.
Wow! Imagine
doing 3 hours of dialogue. So Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Go see my version of Pulp Fiction.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I want to know. Keep talking, Gadget. I want to know what some of our listeners want to recast.
Keep talking, Gadget. Keep talking, Gadget. Keep talking, he says. Perform, monkey. Okay, so we...
How does he know that we call him that? Who told him?
So, Super Natty Cat sent her usual series of Twitter bile towards us. And she pointed out Adam Sandler in everything.
Nope.
Nah, just kidding, Oodles. Pipe down.
Get out.
She suggested Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones. I think he's cheeky enough, charismatic and fun.
Yeah,
and good at an Italian accent. It's me, Indiana Jones. I'm not a racist.
I like your Bradley Cooper Indiana Jones, actually.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper would work.
I thought so.
Maybe
as
a bit
well,
old
mate.
now,
Thank you.
Although, to be fair, Indiana Jones is old anyway, so...
He was, again, younger than you think in Indiana Jones, the first one, but not as young as he probably should have been.
Yeah. She goes on to say, what about Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart in Twins instead of Arnie and Danny DeVito?
Yeah,
that's fucking good. That's really good.
I mean, if you've seen Central Intelligence, you know that would be really fucking funny.
I like that film a lot. Oh, that's so good.
I love their friendship. Like they play off the fact that they hate each other. It's so funny.
I liked when Dwayne Johnson said that Kevin Hart's like, imagine Dwayne Johnson as a turtle, Kevin Hart's the shell on his back. I fucking love it.
Yeah, there's so many TikToks and Instagram reels of the two of them just ripping the piss out of each other.
The
yeah. She goes on further to say, one of my all-time faves growing up was The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah, good film.
So I would have Pedro Pascal as Zorro instead of Antonio Banderas.
Brilliant.
Gal Gadot instead of the beautiful Welsh woman Catherine Zeta-Jones.
The beautiful Welsh Spanish woman Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, and hold on to your britches, Candy. Mads Mikkelsen as the nasty Batman.
Yeah, she is going to be there, isn't he? In the next.
Wasn't that Anthony Hopkins? Was it?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen The Mask of Zorro.
Sure, like
Anthony Hopkins plays like the older Zorro.
The original Zorro. That's it. Yeah.
She has finished off with saying, can't think who to replace Anthony Hopkins, though. Any suggestions?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins played the original Zorro in that movie. I forgot.
Oh,
Jesus.
give me a second then. Probably. Who could beat Sir Anthony Hopkins at his own game? That's very difficult.
Patrick Stewart.
No, because he'd be too old now.
Ian McKellen.
Too old.
I can't think.
Anthony Hopkins wasn't that old when he did.
I genuinely can't think because he was
Zorro.
really good. Michael Douglas. No, he's too old.
He's too old. Stop thinking of old people. Think of less old people.
I can't.
I think it's Anthony Hopkins has always looked old, even when he wasn't old.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
Done it. You've done it.
Yeah, there we go.
Nailed it. Fuck. That's too difficult. That.
I know. Right. Well, you can settle down, Noodles. You can just rest your brain for a second. I can smell the wood burning from here.
Fucking hell, we're on fire.
Our lovely Discord people went on a run of recasting Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Your favourite film?
So it started off with that bloody Yank himself, Sergeant Story.
Mm-hmm.
So he suggested Idris Elba as Azim and Chris Hemsworth as Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But he wasn't sure who to get to play the Sheriff of Nottingham or Maid Marian.
Oh.
So Xenos, he came in with Sheriff of Nottingham played by Keith Allen.
Keith Allen?
It would work, though.
From Vindaloo?
Yeah.
He has been an actor before. It does work.
Yeah, I know, but...
Well, yeah, but do you want a Cockney Sheriff of Nottingham?
Well, could it be any worse than what we've had before?
I don't know. Sheriff of Nottingham's brilliant. It was.
Alan Rickman was the best thing in that film.
Incredible. Mr. Hood.
And then Tig finished us all off with as Maid Marian Emma Appleton.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Then next up, known food and film pervert Nimrod Hicks came up with Blues Brothers, but with James Belushi rather than John.
Why is he doing this?
I think he hates joy.
Why is he doing this? He just wants to watch the world burn, doesn't he?
He does. Debbie Punk, in response to that, clearly not happy, said, "I really ship Blues Brothers with John Goodman and Joe Morton."
Yeah.
And then Tig, deciding to throw petrol on a fire, came in with a Blues Brothers remake with James Corden and Lee Mack.
Could you imagine?
Oh my days. Oh my days. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an instant never going to watch.
Need somebody.
And James Corden obviously dressed as a cat.
Or a mouse. Or some kind of animal.
Pig.
David Cheeseman has said, "I'm still disappointed that Will Poulter couldn't continue with it after he was originally cast. Bill was pretty great, but Will is one of the best actors working right now, and he would have done amazingly well."
Yeah.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah, he's been in loads of stuff. He was in that Jason Sudeikis film.
Oh shit!
With the Millers.
With the Millers, yeah. He was going to be
Pennywise,
yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that would have worked
for a long time, weren't he?
Yeah, but then he had to pull out because didn't the production get delayed several times?
Pulled
over?
Out because there's so many Skarsgårds and they all need jobs. That's why.
Yeah, but Pennywise in that movie
it's like the Arquettes all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're all good looking.
I mean, Bill Skarsgård looks dead all the time anyway.
Great looking.
Good looking, but he's a great looking corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
My kind of guy.
Never has there been a paler man. And last up, Jamie has said, "I'd like to hear Gary Oldman's version of General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith, since he had to pull out due to it being a non-SAG film."
No way.
The actor who voiced him for the finished film did a fine job, but definitely curious what Oldman's version would have sounded like.
There's Kenobi.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Gary Oldman had been up for that. That would have been incredible.
It would have had that weird
like
German accent that he had.
Or the spitting one from Friends.
I don't know what that means.
Pronunciate you spit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was up for that. That would have been great. But yeah, I think George Lucas had fucked around with the union stuff, hadn't he? So they couldn't get any SAG after.
I know.
Actors.
A lot of them didn't like George Lucas in general, anyway. Because
apparently he's not a good person to work for.
Yeah,
Gary Oldman would have made a good R2D2.
Yeah, really good at bleeps and bloops. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic waste of talent there.
Tiptoes, small.
Yeah, a roll of a lifetime, that, though. Can't refuse Tito's, can you?
But yeah, that's all the mailbag we've got.
Excellent. Well, we're nearly done, but I've got to let you know what we're going to be doing next week because I'm doing it now. So next week, we will be talking about our favourite spoofs, and Candy's at the helm on this one. And we're looking forward to spoofs because we all like a spoof because we are a spoof of ourselves. And as stated at the beginning of the show, go to our website, modernescapism.co.uk, and please subscribe to our Patreon and also give us a 5-star review on all the podcast services you can muster or find. But from us, this has been an episode. We will see the patrons in the green room very soon. Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.